Welcome to your Mamamoon podcast, with interviews and tips from real life for your pregnancy journey from belly to baby.
We are Kasia and Nina, and we are passionate about motherhood. Our goal is to give you tools towards a beautiful and empowering experience during labor and a smooth entry into life as a mom.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Mamamoon podcast. I am super excited today to talk to one of our very own. Usually we have a third interview partner in our podcast, but since our very own Kasia has a lot to share, a lot of wisdom to share about what she does at Mamamoon, we really wanted to take the opportunity as well to do a little internal interview. So I'm really, really excited to have with us on this podcast interview episode our very own Kasia Pokrop, talking about hypnobirthing, a super interesting topic, so much we can talk about. Kasia is Ashtanga yoga and prenatal yoga teacher. She's also a hypnobirthing practitioner, has a lot of experience in both prenatal yoga and hypnobirthing, and she's a proud mother of 2 hypnobirthing babies, so she has also tested all of those techniques that she's teaching on herself. She left a corporate career a while back to focus completely on her passion of yoga and her passion for helping future parents towards a smooth and beautiful birthing experience. And she's the founder of 7 Series and of Mamamoon retreats. And I'm super excited to talk to you about hypnobirthing today on this episode. Welcome, Kasia. Really, really excited to deep dive into hypnobirthing now.
Thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy to share about hypnobirthing because it's indeed a bit of a question on many people's mind, what it is and is it for me and how do I use it, when should I start and so on. So yeah, hopefully we can answer some of those doubts today as well.
Perfect. Sounds great. Let's start with some basics. I think when you hear the word hypnobirthing, I have to say I wasn't a great fan when I learned about hypnobirthing at the start. I wasn't a great fan of the name because for me hypnobirthing it sort of is associated with hypnosis. I found it very scary. I didn't know what to expect. It doesn't tell me at all what I should expect from hypnobirthing. So can you maybe explain in a few sentences to start us off, what is hypnobirthing and what's with the name?
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't like the name myself neither. It's actually something that sometimes stops people from diving into it, from taking the course or from just learning a little bit more about it, because a lot of people they hear hypnobirthing and they think hypnosis, and they very often associate hypnosis with losing control. Whereas if you actually get into hypnosis, that's nothing else than a deep state of relaxation. When you are open for suggestions, but you will never ever do anything that you would not be okay when you're not in that hypnosis state. So things like me coming with a little stone in front of your face, and no, so I'm not doing that. Things like me convincing people to do things that they're uncomfortable with, no. So we are using the tools from hypnosis, which is really around the deep state of relaxation, which, by the way, you need to allow it, expect it, and want it. So if one of those 3 things, allow, expect, and want, is not there, it's not going to work. And that's a little bit the background from how hypnosis fits into the hypnobirthing. But if you look at the course itself, it's a very complete birth preparation course. So there are elements from a typical birth preparation courses, like talking about the birth plan, looking at the role of the care provider, the role of a midwife, also understanding how your body works, how to work with your body. And then there are also elements from helping you to relax, to learn how to relax, to find tools to, even when you're, losing it, to get back. So yeah, so and there's also a part on activity, on nutrition. So it's very complete, holistic course, which is shared with expecting parents when they are pregnant, and one that works pretty well.
Okay, so basically, hypnobirthing makes use of some of the techniques of hypnosis, but it is essentially a way of preparing yourself for uh, birthing your baby, taking your whole
Yeah.
body and mind into consideration, right?
Yeah, because if you think how, if you just to give you an example, so um, um, one of the things that we teach during the classes is how your uterus works. No. So who would ever spend time on diving into how the uterus works, right? I mean, so if you understand how the muscles of the uterus work, you understand that during labor, when the body goes through surges, so the contractions, to allow the uterus work as it should, so to progress with labor, to bring the surges to the intensity, so that the opening can happen. You also understand how important it is to bring the oxytocin up, which is the magic hormone, and the magic hormone oxytocin, which we need so much during labor, is actually one of the factors to release it, is to relax. So it's the whole chain of the connection between the body, between the atmosphere during labor, and then giving very hands-on tools to both mom to be and the partner to be, to basically help each other during labor, so they can either keep that relaxed state or bring it back if it was lost for whatever reason.
Cool. Um, since we know each other and we've started Mamamoon, obviously I've become a lot more aware of hypnobirthing. And since when I was pregnant myself, I actually heard for the first time about hypnobirthing. I don't think people who are not actively into that state of life, they don't really necessarily get confronted with hypnobirthing so much. And at the same time, I really see it popping up everywhere at the moment. It has become such a popular concept, I think, in the past years, and not only because all of a sudden even Duchess Meghan from the UK decided to help herself birthing her baby with hypnobirthing techniques. Why has hypnobirthing become so popular over the past years, you think, and why should every pregnant woman consider hypnobirthing as a birth preparation?
You're asking a question that's going to take me an hour to answer because I'm very passionate about it.
You've got 5 minutes.
Yeah, okay. A lot of women come to hypnobirthing when they mention to someone from the, because you're right, we find out about hypnobirthing mostly when we are pregnant. Still now, so I mean, still the Duchess, they did lots of the royals, I should say, also, because it was. So they've done a lot of good work for spreading the news, spreading the word about hypnobirthing. But still, it's very common that you only hear about it when you're pregnant. When you, for example, mention whether to your friend or to your midwife or to anybody from your close surrounding, like, hey, I'm really scared of birth. So it's very often that part, or when you are looking for holistic birth preparation, or when you are saying, like, I would love to go for natural birth, but I'm not sure whether I have it all with me. Or when you say, so that's when somebody may, come to you like, hey, why don't you try hypnobirthing? That's when you start researching a little bit about it. Why is it becoming more and more popular? And I love it, to be honest, but it's still a long way to go. But I have a feeling like, I don't want to sound too feminist, but I have a feeling like women started taking it back in their own hands. So the reason why we grew up in the society where birth is like the most horrific experience you can ever go through, you know, full of screaming and those horror scenes and blood and God knows what, and lots of people and you know, white clothes, and um there was a lot of damage done. So a lot of damage done in a sense how we perceive labor. It's coming actually from it came from a good place, from good intentions. You know, there's unfortunately there's always those bad cases during labor, and people wanted to help, so that, which is around between 2 and 5%, so that even those percentages, you know, that we can help. So it came from good intentions, but it came to the point when women started being taught how to deliver their babies, and that's where we kind of lost it, because we arrive in a hospital and you think like, okay, they will take care of me and they will do to me, you know, everything, and then the baby is out. Well, during, I think over the last years, when we saw how much different it can be, that that experience of having a baby when you are fully in control and you are listening to your body and you're following your body, and versus, you know, when you give this control to somebody else, that is such a huge difference. So there's more and more positive birth stories being shared. It's not only by HypnoBirthing, there's also another organization like Spinning Babies who are also doing a lot of good job. Lots of yoga communities preparing for labor, for the natural labor, giving women the trust back that you can do it by yourself, or at least that you can try. You know, you never know how birth goes, you know, but at least that you approach it with this mindset. I very often get students who join the course, which, you know, some are halfway through, they tell me like, hey, you know, I thought that you will teach me some poses for labor to help myself when the contractions, when the surges are coming, and then for the final phase. And but this is mental.
I think that's actually a really good. Let me jump in there straight away, because it's a really good bridge to what we wanted to talk about as well. Is you have these traditional. I think everybody goes to some sort of birth preparation course, right? And traditional birth preparation courses. I mean, when there's always this ridicule around what a traditional birth preparation course is. How does the hypnobirthing birth preparation differ from those traditional methods of birth preparation?
We include some of it in the course as well. So there's part about understanding your body, but then the part about understanding the body, the way that we share it is again to give you trust to yourself and your body, understanding what you already have, what your baby already has, how you can help yourself. And then we also include some of the parts again, like, you know, having a dry run through labor. So when do you call the care provider to actually, you know, say like, hey, I think the labor started, you know, what are the signs, what are the special circumstances? So all of it is in this course as well. What is, because you need it. Education is part of being confident in your choices. What hypnobirthing does is a couple of things. One is to give you that confidence that when you have to make a choice, you know what are the consequences as well. So you don't feel like things are happening to you, but if you make a choice, you know what's the consequence of it, and then it's also your choice. And then we program you a little bit. So that's where knowing about oxytocin, right? That if, for example, give you an example again. So if somebody for a medical reason needs to be induced during labor, you will receive a synthetic oxytocin to start the contractions, the surges, right? You can release natural oxytocin as well. So, and that comes with relaxation, actually. So giving you the tools to relax, to either start the labor around the time when it should, but also to not speed things up, I shouldn't say, but to let the things, go smoothly during labor. That's quite that's what makes a difference, and that comes through the course. So you when we start working together, I'm sharing some of the ideas, but I'm also sharing um, how, based on what those ideas, so why this massage technique will work, why this breathing technique will work, why this visualization should make a difference. And when you understand why, even if you don't like what I'm sharing with you, you're able to think like, oh, wait a second, I don't really like this visualization, but um, I do like this one. It's from my history, from my past, and if I think about it, it should work the same. So can I use it? Yes, of course. So and that takes some time. So whether it's important to practice and to have the way to practice. So if you, for example, depending on the course, what kind of course you decide to follow, it's important that you are equipped with tools that you can continue at home as well, outside of the course. And because that's when the programming happens. And that's, I think, the biggest difference also.
Okay, so if I'm pregnant, I now understood from what you're saying, I should take a hypnobirthing course. How long does that course usually take? And how much time do I need to invest, and should I be prepared to spend with this?
If you go for a typical hypnobirthing course, it's 5 sessions, one session every week, and each session is about between 2 and 2.5 hours. So that's over 5 weeks. What I do have to mention here is there's a couple of things why it is designed this way. And that's again that you stay connected also with your teacher and that you continue practice, because that change requires time. So I very often meet couples who don't have that time, because it's usually it is a program designed for a mom and her birthing companion, and that means that two people have to free up all the time. So what sometimes happens is that you can also do an alternative, right? You can also research for a course which is maybe in a more condensed way. But what is important is that you will get the opportunity to continue with that practice when it comes to that hypnobirthing piece, so that you either get the tools to stay connected with some additional either check-ins or classes, or that you receive materials that you can also practice by yourself at home. And then it really depends on what kind of person you are, because some of us need a little bit of a whip. Like a like a teacher coming and checking, did you do your homework? Some of us are a little bit like that you work better when you have certain appointment and then you're being checked, and some of us are perfect like home study people that like, okay, now I understand why and what and how, so I can continue and do it, and I'm disciplined enough to to plan my day in a way that I make time for that. So that really depends on the person, also on the life circumstances that you're at, because if you take a course when you already have a toddler at home, that all takes completely, which
Makes
is
it a
very
little
common,
more
by the way.
difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, but you are also way more motivated. So yeah, so usually I get a lot of second or even third time parents who simply they want to change the experience they had, um, and they are very motivated.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
So let's go a little deeper into hypnobirthing as such. I'm going to learn to stay in control. It feels like it's a very empowering thing to learn, being in control, being learning to listen to my body and then following what it tells me. How exactly will hypnobirthing help during labor and during birth? And what you already said, two people need to make time. So my partner needs to be there as well. What's the role of the partner in hypnobirthing?
What was the first question?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's focus maybe how the hypnobirthing will help. So you have there's a number of practices, right? So we and also coming back to that hypnosis and the relaxation piece. Um, During the course, I am basically helping parents to first of all understand when mom is stressed, so when she's not relaxed, and then also how to intervene, so how to help her. And those techniques are some of those techniques you can do by yourself, so being just on your own, and that can be visualization, affirmations, breathing. Everybody has to breathe, right? So those practices work very much, well when you're just by yourself. Why it is good to come with your birthing companion. If you already have one with you, make them useful. So it's I mean, they will be also happy instead of just standing there and like, oh, what am I supposed to do, how should I help, blah blah blah, so make them useful. Give them I give them basically tangible techniques to first of all identify when the mom is stressed out, and second, how to help. So give you again an example. When your jaw, there's a very strong correlation between your jaw and your genitals. Think kissing and arousal. So when your jaw is relaxed, there's a high chance that everything down there is also relaxed. So it's a very easy tip, but we just don't know about it, to give to the partner, anybody who is with the mom, like just observe your jaw. Like, and if her jaw is not relaxed, like remind her, can you please relax your jaw? And we have a couple of techniques to do that. So then they are also already equipped. So those kind of like a body language signs. There's a couple of practices, partner practices, when it comes to massage techniques to either stimulate relaxations, hence, so again, relaxation, oxytocin, surges, progress in labor, right? This is kind of like a chain of events. There's some practices that we help to ease whatever they feel, so ease the sensations in the body. Also to help to reposition or to help with repositioning the baby if that's needed. So basically, one of the tasks what I do with the birthing companions is I make a doula out of them. So they can support the mother during labor with again easing whatever is happening. But I'm also making out of them, they become a mediator of the mother to be. So if there is any discussion coming from the care providers, because maybe it takes too long, so that they can be again, also they gain this confidence to be able to have this dialogue by themselves before they even bother a mother in labor. And second, being also able to flag it like, no, we are not okay with it, or yes, please come in and help. So they become way more involved. And actually, usually what happens is that, we drag them to those courses. I had only, I think it was only one couple that I worked with when it was he who came up with hypnobirthing and suggested it to his wife. One. In all other cases, it's basically us doing the research or talking to a midwife or to a friend, finding out about it, and then going ahead with it, and then dragging our partner with us. But it's actually them who become the biggest advocates for this course, because they see what it does on us. It happened more than once that I had a phone call from a partner who called me like, hey, Kasia, it was amazing. I actually felt useful. You should have seen her. She did such a great job, so relaxed, so much in control. The doctor came to us and asked, what the hell did we do that we were able to do with that? So it's really, there is this block at the beginning, but once you are through, once you're there, you will love it. I haven't met a single couple that would say different. So
Brilliant. I think that's super inspiring for everybody out there who's pregnant and will have to get this baby into this world eventually. When can mom start? So when is it useful to start with hypnobirthing? Do you start straight away or later in pregnancy or 4 weeks before due date? What's the best time frame?
No, so I don't feel comfortable with starting with women before 14 weeks pregnancy, because that's around 14 weeks is where placenta is settling nicely in our body. So the risk of miscarriage is much less. So that's when you are also, we actually get this confidence, you get out of the first trimester, which very often is tiring. um, and you need to give yourself time. So give yourself those couple of weeks before, again, depending on what kind of a course that you decide to do. If it's 5 weeks, then obviously, at least 5 weeks before due date. If it's another course, then just making sure that you have also some time after to be disciplined and to do the practice, and maybe already do some prep before. I do like to work with women when they are before 28 weeks, or at least that if they sign up for a course with me, and it would happen that they start later, that I give them already some suggestions before.
Mhm.
So we have a call, we discuss where they are at pregnancy, and then what are their daily habits, and already give them some indicators, easy things that they can do or add or change, to already help themselves. So
Mhm.
that's so the window is quite wide. It also depends very much what kind of a game person you are, because some of us like to have everything fresh in their heads. So they say like, okay, I'm gonna do it like towards the end. So I give those couple of weeks full focus, and I only do that, and that's okay. Yeah.
Mm.
Some of us need a little bit more time. So also depends. Also depends what's your story. Also depends what it is that I need to work with. And then it's better if you start earlier. So
Yeah.
especially if it's your second or third, and you have something that you need to kind of wipe out, then it's better if we start earlier and to kind of working on getting rid of the fears that you may have.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds smart. Practice makes perfect, they say, right? As well. And are there any risks, any contraindications when I really shouldn't consider hypnobirthing at all?
No,
None.
no,
Brilliant.
no.
No
Even if you
side
want to go for a
effects, nothing.
C-section, even if you want to go for a C-section, it's also a good preparation to do that.
Yeah.
So even if you know that this is the medical, yeah.
Cool. And so, I mean, at Mamamoon, we always talk from belly to baby, and beyond. Are there any benefits that you have experienced, or your couples that you work with have experienced, of hypnobirthing that go beyond birth of the baby? Because I imagine if I learn to relax, that I might benefit from that afterwards as well, right?
Um, yeah, it's really, you help yourself throughout the whole pregnancy, for labor and beyond. So the relaxation techniques are brilliant when we are pregnant, because it gives your mind a little bit of at ease, especially when you're all over the place. Take very common pregnancy insomnia. Women cannot sleep. You wake up in the middle of the night, and then it's 3 a.m. and you look at the ceiling, and then it's 4 and then 5, and I go, should I have to get up soon? So there is some breathing techniques which are really great for that. Also relaxation techniques. So all of those, it's super helpful. And the same it works after. So once during part of the course also covers the fourth trimester. So we talk about breastfeeding. We talk about how to treat those first hours, also the first couple of weeks. So what to pay attention to, and how you can help yourself, how you can set yourself up. But the techniques that you're actually learning for labor. So take one of the breathing techniques that helps with staying relaxed, or to finding that relaxed state. So when your head is all over the place again, or you are anxious or sad or frustrated, it's beautiful when you're waking up in the middle of the night, your baby's screaming, and you change the diaper, you fed the baby, you basically, I don't know, you massage the belly, and it's an hour, and you really have no clue what it is, and you're like going, oh. So it's just, you will calm yourself down, and that's half of the success already. And not to mention that the breathing practice helps with sleep a lot as well. So even that's like a luxury of young parents, or parents with young kids, to have a good night's sleep. So we all struggle with that, and then having some little tools, to help you fall asleep faster, sleep deeper, makes a hell of a difference.
So good. I mean, I should go and do a refresher course, definitely, just for the sleeping part. Brilliant. So those of you who have listened to our podcast before know that we always have the golden tip at the end of our episodes. So Kasia, you know this better than anyone out there. What's your golden tip for parents out there? The one tip that you want to share with all the couples regarding hypnobirthing or regarding their birth experiences?
One.
Just one.
Oh my God. I think it's just regain the trust to yourself. So understanding, when you regain the trust to yourself, trust your gut. That's so important, not only during labor, but also in the motherhood, in the parenting journey. You don't need to do all or know all the practices in the world to relax, to for the positions, when it comes to labor or whatever. Find few that you like, focus on those, and continue, and look for things that you already have in you, because it's when we talk, and again, it's a lot about pregnancy, labor, but also for later. I mean, we struggle to find the moment to relax, to be effective in it as well. But there are things that we have already, so that the example I very often give, there's this song that my dad always was singing to me, which was like, when I was small, don't worry, be happy. And that's the song that every time I listen to when it's on the radio, or wherever, if I'm anxious or sad, or whatever, I'm good. So at least for the length of the song. So maybe you also have something like that. Maybe there's also, a song or a food that you relax when you eat, chocolate. We all have those things. We all have those things. So search for them, because they will support you not only during labor to bring again the oxytocin high and let it go smoothly, but also after.
Brilliant. Learn to relax. That's a very wise tip as well. Perfect. Kasia, if people want to reach out to you, do a hypnobirthing course with you, or get a little bit more of your wisdom and tips, where can they find you best?
Mamamoon.min. If you live in Amsterdam, you can also search via 7series.com. But I think the easiest one, if you just go via Mamamoon.me, and I'm here.
Perfect. We'll put all of that in the show notes. Thank you so much, Kasia, for explaining, putting all of the things that you know into this very brief half hour, because I know that you can talk about this topic for ages. So it's great that you condensed it and broke it down a little bit to us. Thanks so much for taking the time. For everybody, as usual, listen, like, comment, share wherever you find us, wherever you listen to us. Make sure you share us with other moms to be as well, who can benefit from whatever we're sharing here, from all the knowledge Kasia has, but also the knowledge that we share in our other episodes. We love to see you again, and hope to hear from you soon. Take care of yourselves, everyone.
Thanks so much for listening to our Mamamoon podcast. We would love to see you again, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes.
Also, for more information and to stay up to date, check our website mamamoon.me and our Instagram and Facebook.